Hello and welcome to another replay commentary. We're going to talk about a game that I played in Hero League recently with the good old Thrall. Here we are. This is a Diamond 2 game. I recently played on Infernal Shrines. We have Thrall, Jaina, Alex, Murden and Lunar on our side, so a pretty balanced team setup. And against us we have Alarak, Greyman, Johanna, Gul'dan and Deckard. I like to take this game as an example of a game that I won, but I made so many mistakes that I could have also lost it. And that's one of the things that I like to repeat a lot, is that there will be games that your teammates make mistakes and you're like, oh, without this person I would have won the game. And you should always just remember that you have also games that you basically lose by making too many mistakes. So I'm playing Thrall in the solo lane here, meaning I'm playing Echo of the Elements, sorry. So I'm just gonna get a first stack here in the mid lane, ready to try it. There you go. And then I just immediately rotate up to get all of the minions here. And as you can see, one of them goes low, and I just in time to get it. So if you see in the timer 30 seconds, you need to go up. Now you're probably late for the first minion, but like you shouldn't stay too long in the mid lane. It just doesn't give you enough advantage. So I'm laning against an Alarak. So what I need to do is, and I will learn this in a second because I'm, slow learner, I shouldn't be, there you go, standing in the minion wave, because then he can take or get damage on me, but also on the minions. I'm just trying to harass him a little bit. Should focus more on getting my stacks up. There you go, and dodge one of these attacks that he's doing, and then I'm just like hitting him in the face a little bit. That's something that you can do against Alarak a lot, but now I'm seeing like he doesn't have a lot of wave clear, so my best bet in this moment is to rotate mid, because I just can't stand here and not doing anything. As you can see, the minion wave is coming here, so his minion wave is also here, but realistically I can't really focus it down. There's two towers here, there's him here, so me staying here doesn't do a lot, so I'm just deciding to move down, because I see three people mid. I should ping this here, by the way. I'm not pinging it, but I should ping this. But my Murden is paying attention. My Jaina is also coming in here, so we get a good kill. That's a good play by me, taking advantage of my rotation. I lose a couple of minutes here, as you can see. I'm losing a couple more, I think one more. Actually, I'm lucky I don't lose the whole melee minion group, which is important because the melee minions give you more XP. Again, I get hit by the lightning. I shouldn't do that. He does it a lot, like he shoves me in a couple of directions. It doesn't do a lot of damage, so I'm not sure why he does it. I think he wants to set up a combo or something. Again, I get hit by the lightning. I shouldn't do that. And now I'm just waiting for the wave to go down so I can get some stacks. This time I dodged the lightning. And I get his globes, so this is really important because it gives me a lot of sustain. So far I'm playing pretty well. Here I'm a little bit too aggressive. I saw the ping of the Murder and I was like, we can get him. So if I wait for like a second, I encourage the kill, or I make it probably happen. The way I did it there, it wasn't very good because like Murden pinged and I just like didn't really pay attention where he was in terms of like my position. So he basically got away because I went in too early. Now I'm very low and I can't really do anything except try to poke and get a couple of minions. Just using my Chain Lightning here and my Wind Fury to heal up. And now we're in an awkward position because our Alexstrasza in this game use her dragon very late normally. And while you can secure a lot of the late skulls, they obviously have a lot of wave here with Johanna and Greyman and everybody. So as you can see, my team is focusing outside of the shrine while they already have 16 skeletal defenders. So I was too deep, didn't have enough support from my team, and I just died. And that's something that happens to me quite a bit when I play melee. I just don't get into the proper rhythm and make a lot of mistakes and being too aggressive. So Alex just didn't pull. Actually, I wanted to see if she used it beforehand because I wasn't sure. No, she has it up. She just didn't use it. I don't know why. We talked about it in chat that we wanted her to use it more aggressively. But for the first one, it doesn't really matter that much. The first Punisher is not too strong, so me dying is one of the first mistakes that I'm making that are really bad. Because, again, it's not that important to get the first Punisher, so therefore, again, he just shoves me back. I don't know why he does that. I just reduce the minion wave a little bit. I also didn't focus so much on getting my quest done, which is an issue because you normally want to have it for the first objective. So you should be focusing on that. I did a little bit of ganking and rotating around, but mostly I just didn't pay attention. So here I know that Myrddin is coming, so I want to bait him into this. I'm lucky a little bit that he missed his silence, but and I only survived with 23 health, so one alt attack would be my death. But him dying like this is also his mistake. Like he should understand that I'm obviously baiting him. Get the cocktail here as well, that's a mistake, but then I get rewarded by being lucky and getting the globe. So spamming my abilities here is just first of all to get more of my Ancestral Wrath. So I want to just like get that as up as quickly as possible. I'm also going Mana on level 4. I think it's the standard Thrall build. So now I have to be a little bit careful because I don't see the Greyman leaving, so I'm just gonna stay behind the wall and wait for my XP to trickle in. I'm not letting my team know that Greyman is missing. And again, he does that. I don't know exactly what he gets from it, but I thought it was very funny because it didn't do anything to me. So yeah, I'm still missing 5 minions here to get my quest stacks full. I don't see the Greyman, so I'm a little defensive. Now I see everybody on the map. And just wait for my stacks to come in. I really want to have my stacks done now for the second objective. It's really important that you have that. So I have Ancestral Wrath stacked, so I can trade very efficiently now here. And now I can also just use my spells to get more Ancestral Wrath from the Frostwood Resilience here. This was a little bit telegraphed here from the Myrddin. I don't think that it was very possible to get a gank there. He was a little slow in the rotation, but it's not too bad. And now we have level 10, so our lineup got a lot stronger. This is a good rotation for us. We see Gul'dan bottom. He doesn't move at all, so it's a very easy kill for us. I don't know, he got probably completely baited there, but like, I mean, everybody's coming. He's also using Haunt or Fear, whatever it's called, which is a mistake because if you look at it, it's an 80-second cooldown. He's back in 20 seconds, so then for another 60 seconds he doesn't have a cooldown. You shouldn't do that. Like there's zero way that he survives this. We're doing, I think, a good job now. We took the bottom camp. We have a middle camp already. It's unrealistic for them to get like 30 stacks of skeletal defenders before we get in. This is a neat little thing that you can do. As you can see, I gave the Khazra like vision on the well and they attacked it for a bit. To fully do it, you have to completely give them vision. So that's a little bit difficult. In Pro Play, they get it done very well, that they get the Khazra to destroy the well. This is really good. Our tank goes in first. And now this time we said in chat, and then normally just don't show chat in replay commentaries, just to also prevent anybody saying negative things, and you have to watch or to look at that. So we said this time to Alex Foster, aggressively use the dragon right away because we want to engage here. And I see this Deckard and he gets rooted and hit by the Lunara, so I'm just going full ham and go in, and I just get deleted. It's a little unfortunate because now the dragon is there, so I could have survived it afterwards, but because the dragon was so late, I couldn't survive it. This is also a little bit wasted now because she doesn't heal anybody, and we lose Jaina as well. So a couple of mistakes by by me and then also by Alexstrasser, who just didn't get the chance to use her abilities in the way that she probably wanted to use it. So now I'm back, and we're losing the second one as well. I was too aggressive in my approach. I saw the Decker being out of position and I wanted to go in, but it wasn't really realistic that I could get 1-on-5 there, and didn't have Ancestral Wrath up either, so I couldn't even get a proper second heal out of it. So now we're fighting a little bit here, and I'm not too unhappy to fight because they also use a lot of the heroics. I have Ancestral up, so I'm just using it and then I'm just healing up here. The objective for us was kind of like, let's get a kill, so that push isn't as powerful. This is okay what I'm doing. I'm just soaking XP here now. I am not really good at defending against the Punisher. I'm just another melee body that can be hit. So I'm just trying to get value from soaking XP. Gul'dan is pushing against me. So now I'm saying like, hey, if Gul'dan is here, there are only 4 people up there. Unfortunately, they get a kill from against Jaina. But it's a good time for me to flank because I have Earthquake up. So maybe we can get something here. Punisher jumps in. They don't see me yet. They see me now. I'm going in, but I mistimed the wolf, so I really don't get anything here. Except a little bit of damage, and they have gotten the fort and will get the well top. So a little bit indecisive from my part, and I also lost the mid wave. As you can see, there's now a bigger wave coming in. And this time, this is one of the things that I want to say, because I embarrassingly said on stream when I made this mistake, I don't know why we didn't go in. I would like to fight 12 versus 13 rather than 13 versus 16. And it's really embarrassing because I'm just making a mistake here. But in the heat of the moment, I thought like, hey, this is completely normal. This is completely fine. So I just want to have this XP here. And I'm defending the fort, and there's no reason for me to be this aggressive in front of the fort. I don't see anybody on the map. Jaina also bottom is really out of position. So I'm just standing here. And this is totally fine. Like the way that I'm standing right now, I can see if they're doing the camp and whatever. And now I'm just like going forward in a second. Like here. And there's no reason for me to go here. And I'm dead. And we just have 3 people that die. And yeah, I'm looking at Jaina and I'm like, why are we not fighting? And it's completely stupid to fight here. There's no reason for me to win. So this is one of the mistakes that I repeat a lot on this channel. Don't fight for a fort that is lost. There's no reason for it. And I was actually like really disappointed in me after like having a couple of seconds to reflect on this, because it was completely stupid. Because look at it at this way. Now we have 13 versus 15, a much better fight because we actually have the same talent here. And look at the Murden. He actually finds a good engagement. So if I had just waited and not died, we would have had much better engagement on them here with the same talent here. But it is how it is. Sometimes you make mistakes, and this is one of the biggest mistakes. So I've died 3 times now. I want to say 1 time just because we didn't communicate well on when to engage on the top for the shrine. And this is another mistake I'm making. I'm indecisive on what to do, and now Murden is clearing top, and he shouldn't do that. Murden has like super bad wave clear, so after what is ages, or what seems to be ages, I decide to rotate up. And this is what I should be doing because I'm the solo lane. So you should never forget these kind of things. Now the enemy is 16. Murden has to jump here, so I'm happy to use Earthquake if needed. Just root somebody here. He gets the silence off, but it's not really happening. I use Earthquake just to prevent them to do more damage than they're already doing. And funnily enough, because they're standing in Earthquake, I get a lot of heal out. Now we have Dragon. I miss the heal from the Alex. That's another mistake by me. Like, I've literally walked out of it. And now we, I think, lose another 2 here. No, actually, I think the Murden kills the Gul'dan because Decker doesn't have enough heal output. There you go. This is what I wanted to avoid when I was looking to fight at the fort because I knew that no 16 versus 16 normally is a very, very bad trade because the 16 talent tier is so good and gives most people a huge power spike. But the fight itself wasn't that bad because we got a lot of heroics out in a good position, so us trading with them wasn't actually that bad. We got a lot of XP of it. If you look at it, we were behind quite a bit. And now we're only behind 1.5 levels and are closer to 16. So it probably worked out a little bit because we got the XP kill. So this is something that you can do. One thing that already immediately jumps into my eye is that our healer is not here because they're... I don't know what they did. I think they cleared the way for something. But this is what you should be doing. We see that they take the camp, and we just pressure them into coming into here, onto the shrine, even if we don't have 16, because they feel the pressure of us having too many skeletal defenders. We have good vision from the Lunara Wisp, so now we just have 16, nearly 20 skulls. We have a great root here on the Greymane, Great Ring of Frost. And he's actually in danger because, as you can see, he's getting a lot of damage from Myrddin and Lunara junking them. So, as you can see, I just want to show you, we have two people that have lost a little bit of health. On their side, we have one person that has lost a lot of health. We have another person that is pretty low on health, and we have 2 tickle damage on their side. It's 15 versus 16, or 17 even. So we don't have the 16 tier talent. As you can also see, all of their heroics are still up. You see that Gain is now starting to do Stay a While and Listen. And we use most of it. We have no wine, Avatar is active. We don't have Cleansing Flame ready. We also don't have Dragon ready, I think. You know, we don't have Dragon for another minute. And Ring of Frost was just used to chunk a lot of people. And Blizzard is out. But the good thing is, the Thrall still has everything. I have 2 stacks, I have Ancestral Wrath, I have Earthquake. So, even though the fight is not great, and I walk into the Stay a While and Listen because that's just what happens, look how low everybody gets. The Fear doesn't do anything. I get a great Earthquake off. We reach 16 and the wings come online for Alex Strasser, so we get this. Let's go back one more time to look at this team fight, because it's really important to understand that sometimes fighting versus 16 is okay. So this is the premise. Let's go out of here and go full vision. So for them, it's the same kind of like Gul'dan is a little bit late. He was the last pick off for us. So they have 2 here, they have 1 person here, and Johanna is trying to get, I guess, the wave, but also Jane a little bit here. That's all good. So, with 16, you should definitely be able to fight this. No problems and no questions asked. The issue is we're very close to 16 now, so they get a little bit pressure, because we also have 20 skeletal defenders. So if you need to fight versus 16, it's good to pressure them into a situation where they don't want to be in. If you look at it, their tank is not in the front here. That means Jaina can relatively safely, out of the fog, create the Ring of Frost here and get a couple of people. Johanna also used Iron Skin here, so that I think is an issue. So now they go on the tank, which is not a big problem for us because Myrddin is super tanky. So here comes the pull and the silence, and she hits Greymane and does a lot of damage to Alrod. So now we have the situation that there's a lot of damage. Johanna's now trying to weave in here, but they don't have great ways to fight into us. Gul'dan is pretty far behind, and now has to like try to get into here. They actually got a good root off, but also a good sleep off. And me, I also walk into things. But look how difficult it is to get in here, because there's still the blizzard from Jaina coming down. So that kills Greymane. We get level 16. There's the Haunt that is actually okay. It fears 2 people away that are pretty important, the healer and Lunara. Unfortunately for them, it also fears the lowest health target here. I pick my 16 very quickly. This is something that you should be doing almost instantly. Like picking talent is so important in these situations. Alarak gets a lot of damage off, but I get the Earthquake off. So now everybody's in the Earthquake. That also means that Myrddin, with his level 7, give him the axe, does a lot more damage to everybody. Ancestral Wrath goes off. I can heal myself up again with Frostwolf's Grace, and then we just get everything cleared here. So even with the talent tier down, we were close to level 16, and we were very, very, very good positioned in this, or well positioned in this fight. This is now okay. This is what you should be doing, honestly. Like, we're painting the map blue now. So Lunara is taking care of top. I was thinking about going top because I think Myrden said clear this to me, but she has Nicholas Culling. I checked it at this point to verify that she would be doing a good job. Now everybody is still dead. Like, Greyman is just respawning. Decker doesn't have any power over me, so I'm getting a little bit aggressive here. And this is totally okay what I'm doing. Because we have a Punisher bottom now, but we didn't do a lot early game. We lost early game pretty heavily. We didn't get anything done. So I'm just like trying to get a little bit more pressure on the map where we can. This camp also is taken very quickly by the Jaina and me. So we now have pressure mid lane, and we have a Punisher. Good Wisp. I don't have to face check this. This is great for me. I go in here. Again, the Gul'dan is out of position. The Merlin gets a good stun off. And if the early game went differently, I probably would have gone full engage. But as I died a couple of times, I was worried, and I think that's a good thing. Thunderstorm now quested. That means I have a huge slow on them. And we used Dragon early because we didn't use it for the Shrine. That's totally fine. We want to have the keep here. The healing output is important. I misclick and hit the Greyman instead of the Johanna, and therefore I have trouble. And we just clean house a little bit here with the good execution. We're gonna go through the team fight again to show you what everything happened here with us. Unfortunately, we lose the Punisher early, so we actually don't get to attack the core. With only 2 down, it also might be a little bit early. But our Myrden has good engage, finds the cooldown again. I use my second Q here again on the Greyman, even though he's my quest target, because I'm not worried about the slow. I just want to make sure that we can win this fight. And before we go on, we will win and get this done. But we're going to go back to the team fight, which is basically deciding the game, and we're going to look at everything. So as you can see, my mistakes have stopped happening. I played much better during the late game, which is good. And it's also something that you should keep in mind. Like, if you do mistakes early game, it's not too bad, unless your enemy is snowballing out of control. It's not the end of the world. So we go in all vision, we zoom out and see what happens. So this is good in some ways. They are not defending the fort because it's unrealistic to get the fort. They have also a lane pushing here, so that's pretty okay. They have opened the wall here already. So for the red team, they're on the same talent tier and the same level. So what they should be doing is just defend the Punisher here, defend their keep, and then try to re-engage into us. On our side, we have used most of our heroics, and only Haunt or Horrify is up as on cooldown for the red team. So then a pretty good position actually. This is really bad though, unless he doesn't have his stacks yet. No, actually he doesn't have a stack yet. So I see why he's doing it, because he really wants to be stacking. Unfortunately, this is a really bad decision for the red team, because the stacks can also happen when we're here, and even safer than this. So now our Myrden has great reflexes and just gets damage done here. And it's an issue for them because they use a lot here to just keep everybody alive, and they panic as well. It also gives me enough time to get my Thunderstorm or whatever it's called, quest done. So now I'm slowing everybody with my Qs. So we use Dragon, we call Dragon on Alexstrasza. She has the Draconic Discipline here on 16. That means she has 7 seconds more Dragon, meaning this will be most definitely be keep, because the Punisher is still at like 90% life. I use my Q now on buildings more than on heroes to keep my quest up. We open the wall, And we're pretty healthy here, and the Punisher is also at 50% still. So this is a super big slow here on the Greymane, and their defense is a little scattered now because the Gul'dan should be probably around here somewhere so that they can fire into us and on the Punisher. And the Alarak has always been like historically bad at, I think, at defending like these kind of things, because you have to dodge the fire rings, you have to not be stunned, you can't be close to the Punisher because if he jumps on you, you're basically dead. But you want to combo anybody from here, right? So it's very difficult for him to do anything. So his positioning is actually pretty okay, I think. He just uses his lightnings to poke us from behind. So the Punisher actually lost quite a bit of health here, 12%, before he actually gets to the keep. And now Myrddin pulls Avatar, meaning he wants to go in. I hit a root here, which is not too bad because I think the target is Johanna here, so she should be fine. But this is an issue because if you look at my Earthquake radius, the Alarak is caught, the Greymane is caught, the Gul'dan is caught, and the Johanna is caught. Even the Cat is caught a little bit, but his way out is very short here. So it's not too bad. He also has the 10% armor from being around his allies. So now Alarak uses his Heroic. The Stay a While and Listen is actually very good. It hits everybody by us except the Jaina. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit, or unfortunately for the red team, it doesn't hit Alex Strasser, who uses Cleansing Flame. So now even the Fear doesn't do that much, because we just get stuff. We're pretty deep here now, but we get 2 kills on Johanna and on the Alarak. So us being this deep is not too bad. Gul'dan still doesn't have his quest done, so we just get the keep here. And it's actually like very difficult to see where they lose the fight, right? Because nothing really happens and they still lose somebody. So the Greymane is low here, the Johanna is pretty low here, so let's see when people die. Here's the Punisher jump, that's gonna be an issue. Here's the root on Johanna, that's gonna be an issue. Earthquake, Alarak loses more life. He still has his Heroic up, so he needs to use Counter-Strike much earlier, but he's stunned. Like, he wants to use it, but it's just not possible. Now's the Counter-Strike. He gets just chunked by the Jaina, and she also hits the Johanna and secures the kills here. I'm just queuing here. The Johanna is just chased by Jaina and just killed by the flames as well. So it's difficult to say like that they didn't play it well or they made mistakes, because it's basically their front line that is in front and dies first. It's just that we had better execution and just burst damage that Deckard Cain couldn't handle there. With this slow from Earthquake, it's also very difficult to survive because you can't move, and not being able to move away from damage is always difficult. For a couple of characters that don't have any movement abilities, like Greymane can kind of jump out, but like Alarak doesn't do anything. He doesn't have the chance to like push him away that well because he wants to use the combo on us. So like if you don't have a ward like Vala or like a Genji jump or whatever, you don't really get to play when you're slowed. Okay, let's have a quick look at the stats. I'm doing well on the XP soaked. The same does Gul'dan. So this went pretty well for me. I should be up here. I'm doing the solo lane. I should be taking care of the XP, so that's all good. Everything else is very equal, because when we got the lead, we basically just like took down the fort and then the keep. So if you look at the bidding damage, we took towers here. We didn't even took the wall here, so that's how bad we did at the beginning of the game. Again, we took the first and then the second, so the XP is pretty equal on our side here. Myrddin played excellent. He took a lot of damage for us, but if you look at the damage he's also pretty high. 36,000, nearly at Greymane levels damage. So that's good. For us, obviously, also very positive. The 3 damage dealers that we took are in the top 4. So it's very close here between me, Gul'dan, Greymane, and Alarak, and also Jaina, I want to say. But while it's close, it also shows that we are just doing damage when it counts, while they were doing damage in the early game, which got them the lead, and then they just didn't get to win the game, I guess. Can look at the talents here. Most of it should be very standard from what I remember playing this game. One issue that I definitely see is that the Gul'dan didn't get his Echoed Corruption done. This should be done before hit level 16. Because Ruinous Affliction is such a huge damage spike, and it just is much weaker if you don't have Echoed Corruption done. So you need to focus on this to get it done. Alarak also obviously with dying and his talent choices didn't do that well because he didn't get as much sadism up as you want to. But other than that, we have a Q build Greymane, which is coming back a little bit more. And then I'm not a big fan of Subdue here on level 7 because it just, in my experience, never finishes. And while it's okay for the initial 80% slow already, but I just feel like against what we have with more flanking and everything, I'm not a big fan of Subdue. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For my build, if you go solo lane, you always go Echo of the Elements. I think Mana Tide is mandatory for whatever you're going. So if you go into Thrall, I can't open talents. Huh, okay. Let's go back if I can see this. So I can show you the builds that you can go if you go in the 4-man. There you go. So in the 4-man, you would go Crash Lightning. It's not been used a lot because it's just so hard to stack. 30 bounces on heroes is very, very much. So nobody plays this at the moment, realistically. I've still seen it a couple of times in my games. I think it's still okay, but it's probably better on 2-lane maps where you play Braxis or Battlefield Eternity. But other than that, you always go Echo of the Elements on level 1. Nobody plays Rolling Thunder. I think it's also pretty bad because you don't need the mana, and the bounces on Chain Lightning are really insignificant later on. Like, I don't think it's worth it. On 4, I think everybody goes Mana Tide. It's just so good. It gives you so much mana. It also reduces the basic ability cooldowns by 0.5 seconds. So whenever you activate your trait, you just have also lower cooldowns on your spells. I think this is really good. The other ones I personally think are just not on the same level as Mana Tide. On 7, you always go Ancestral Wrath. I've seen people go Follow Through again. If you are comfortable and sure that you can hit off with melee attacks in between your casts, it's really good. I personally play Thrall more like a mage, so I like the double stacks on the Q and just poke from distance and only engage when I'm really sure. So Ancestral Wrath gives me another tool in the solo lane to just like outplay my enemy by using Ancestral Wrath in situations where we're trading, basically trying to kill each other, and then I have another heal that is going up. That's really good. That's something that you can basically win a lane from level 7 on, and if you've stacked, just attack anybody who's in lane and you normally will win with this. Earthquake on level 7, both heroics are viable. In this case, I wanted to have Earthquake because they have Alarak and Greymane, as well as Johanna, so they have 3 people that are in the Earthquake basically guaranteed, which makes, again, moving a lot more difficult for them. They don't have that much movement in their frontline. Again, Alarak has a little bit of movement with telekinesis, but you want to use it for combo purposes, so they have very good targets here. And then obviously also Deckard has no mobility, so if I get him in the Earthquake, he has a very hard time to get out of it. On 13, you have a couple of options. Frostwolf's Grace is something that is such a good panic button that I personally like it a lot. Spirit Shield can also be powerful if you have a lot of spell damage going against you. In this game they actually had, but I just like the panic button where you can press D and get a heal from this. And it only has a 15-second cooldown, so you can spam this very easily. It doesn't cost any mana. So even if you're low on mana or if you're out of mana, you can still heal and get a little bit of a burst heal out of this. Grace of Air is also okay. I played this a lot when I played Crash Lightning builds. Can help you basically stack your Frost of Resilience much quicker in fights and then get an extra heal out. This is just more reliable. Like, well, Frostwolf's Grace is just, you know, you can press a button and then it's done. On 16, everybody goes Thunderstorm, just because the slow is really strong. If you get the quest done, basically you get 40% bonus slow. And the cool thing about this is also that the Chain Lightning's jumping or bouncing causes this slow to happen as well. So, for example, if you saw me fighting here around this, when I targeted the buildings, as soon as the lightning jumps over to a hero, the hero is also slowed. So this makes it a lot more powerful, because you just have such a hard slow on a very short cooldown, like at 7 seconds. You have 2 stacks from the level 1. So the only thing with this that you have to be careful is, because you have 2 stacks, and if you hammer your Q, if you play WoW a lot and you hammer your abilities like I do, you sometimes use your Qs on the same target and then therefore reset your quest. That's something that you have to be a little bit careful about. But it's otherwise really good. You can use it on buildings again to make it jump over and then slow it, but you can also use it just on one hero and then on the other hero. So you have to think a little bit more about using it. But it stacks very easily, and then again it slows so much that it's just very, very powerful. We didn't get to level 20, but on level 20 I normally go Windrush. Having the teleport out or in is really good. But you can also have Earthen Shields. I heard somebody, I think it was not Paradox, talking about it. He felt this was like super powerful, very, very broken. And it's definitely good. You basically get the Storm Shield here on level 20 that you can use with your Earthquake. And it lasts for 4 seconds, so it's really good value, even if you use it early. But yeah, that's it for this replay. A lot of mistakes that I made in the early game didn't cost us the game. Fortunately, we got a good fight on 15 versus 16 there in the narrow passage on the shrine. That was good. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good Sunday and enjoy your ranked games as much as I do at the moment, because I'm really having a lot of fun. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. See you soon. Bye bye.